Introduction to Part 3. Having teetered on the brink of moral compromise in Part 2 and exhausted from the visions, Mark embarks on a journey of self-discovery in Part 3. He leaves his apartment and ventures into the decaying city, which mirrors his fractured soul, seeking clarity by revisiting the ghosts of his past. He confronts the harsh realities of his youthful recklessness, the emptiness of a life of petty crime through his encounter with Jax, and the hope of integrity through Elena. The wisdom of his old mentor, Mr. Reyes, emphasizes balance and purpose. As Mark reflects on these experiences and the futures he glimpsed, he begins to understand that true freedom lies not in fleeting thrills or material comfort, but in finding meaning and navigating a collapsing world without losing himself. Part 3 sets the stage for Mark to make a conscious choice, guided by newfound clarity and a deeper understanding of his values. Part 3. The Journey Inward. Exhausted from the visions, Mark knew he couldn't decide in the dark. He needed clarity, a way to sift through the echoes. The next morning, he stepped out into the decaying city, its graffiti-streaked walls and potholed streets mirroring his fractured soul. He embarked on a journey, not just through the urban wasteland, but inward, revisiting the ghosts of his life. First, he sought out old haunts. He wandered to the abandoned warehouse where he'd once tagged walls with his crew, the air thick with the stench of rust and forgotten dreams. As he stood there, memories flooded back, but they weren't as rosy as he'd remembered. He recalled the fights, often sparked by petty disagreements over territory or artistic style, escalating into shoving matches and bruised egos. One memorable clash involved a rival crew who accused them of crossing out their work, leading to a full-blown brawl with spray cans used as weapons. He recalled the betrayal when a friend ratted them out, revealing their hideout to the cops after being promised leniency. The romance of his past shattered. It had been laced with suffering, a cycle of highs and lows that left scars. He also remembered the night his mother had to bail him out. The fluorescent lights of the police station had hummed with judgment as he saw the disappointment etched on her face. "Mark, what am I going to do with you?" she had asked, her voice trembling with a mix of anger and heartbreak. "This isn't who I raised you to be." Her words stung more than any punishment. As he sat in silence beside her in the car, the weight of his actions pressed down on him. He did feel remorse, a gnawing guilt that lingered long after the incident, a constant reminder of the pain he'd caused her. Along the way, he encountered people who embodied the paths before him. At a dingy cafe, he met an old friend, Jax, now trapped in a loop of small-time hustles. "This is freedom," Jax laughed bitterly, his eyes hollow. "I'm always looking over my shoulder, Mark. It's no life." Then there was Elena, a successful entrepreneur he'd met online. She'd pulled herself up from the same economic ruins, starting a community co-op that helped the jobless. Elena's motivation stemmed from her own experiences with poverty and hardship. She had seen her family struggle to make ends meet, facing eviction notices and food shortages. Rather than succumbing to despair, she was determined to create a better future for herself and her community. She believed in the power of collective action and the importance of providing opportunities for those who had been left behind. "It wasn't easy," she said over coffee in her modest office, a rare oasis of hope amid the decay. "I had to choose integrity every day, but it's worth it, for the people we help, for the future we build." Finally, he visited his old mentor, Mr. Reyes, a retired teacher living in a run-down apartment. Reyes had once caught Mark writing graffiti, and instead of punishing him, talked him through it. "Mark," he'd said, his eyes filled with kindness, "you have a gift for expression, but you need to channel it in a way that builds, not destroys." He encouraged Mark to use his creativity for positive change, suggesting he volunteer at a local community center to teach art to underprivileged kids. Those events had taken hold long before Mark's downfall, planting a seed of hope and purpose that had lain dormant beneath the surface. "Life's about balance," Reyes said, his voice steady. "Your past shapes you, but it doesn't define you. What matters is what you value now: security, freedom, meaning. Don't let the illusions fool you." As Mark reflected, he envisioned the futures his spectral self had shown. The good, a life of quiet stability, where hard work led to small victories. The bad, endless regret, the weight of choices compounding like debt. What truly mattered? Not just comfort or excitement, but purpose, a way to navigate a falling-apart world without losing himself.